Today, we are joined by Ben Rose, the new co-CEO of VeVe. We are super excited to have him on the show. We get into a bunch of different stuff with him, talking about his background as a collector, background in the Web3 space, and his vision for VeVe going forward. We couldn't be more excited to have him on the show, and enjoy.
Yeah. What's up, Ben?
What's going on, Ben?
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So great to have you on, man. Really excited to chat with you about, all things VeVe, your background. Really excited to get into it. But, before we get into the real meaty stuff, we like to ask some fun questions in the beginning, kind of just about collecting, because we're huge collectors, and we know you are too. So, just looking at the wall behind you, I think I know the answer, but do you consider yourself a collector? And if so, what do you collect? And, do you collect on VeVe too?
Okay, well, obviously. So yes. So look, what do I collect? So right now, I've got my digital collection on VeVe, obviously, and I've got a physical collection, which is becoming an issue and taking over the house. Over the years, I've collected different kind of random things, like toy soldiers when I was really young, and then drink cans a bit weirdly when I was a teenager. And then, sneakers, I've got the bug, right? But so, now I'm into Funkos physically. Really proud of my Sesame Street set. Quite pleased with the WWE set. Also, the Royal Family's coming on nicely. So, the problem is, right, there are just so many to get. So that's my physical collection. And then, digitally, with VeVe, Back to the Future, love that IP. Sesame Street, as I said. I'm getting into Young Avengers comics as well. So a few comics in there too.
So what would you say are like some of your favorite things, or maybe your favorite physical item that you've bought recently, and then also your favorite digital item you bought recently?
Okay, so my favorite physical item right now is my Bert and Ernie figurines, my Funko Pops. And there's a couple of reasons. So Bert as a character is quite close to my heart, because as a kid I had a cuddly one growing up. I had a few, and so I've always loved Bert and Ernie. So I love those. My daughter bought Ernie for me for Father's Day, so that was pretty cool to complete the set.
Nice.
So that's meaningful. She was the one who did the light box back there. So that's probably my it's not valuable. It's not a special variant, but it's special to me.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about. There's definitely things that
100%.
I own as well that don't really have a lot of value, but for sentimental reasons, my gosh, it's irreplaceable.
That's the thing with collecting in general, right? It's just stuff that you love that means stuff to you. So for me, like pretty random Sesame Street and WWE, right? But actually, when I was a kid, I remember sitting on a Saturday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, watching Sky TV in the UK, watching WWF as it was back then. And so the characters that I've got, all the ones that I loved, Ted DiBiase and Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, and all of those ones that I sat there as a 6-year-old kid looking at, thinking, "Oh my god, that must have really hurt because it's totally real." Whereas now they're on the shelf. It's awesome.
I don't know if you've gotten into collecting VHS at all, but some of the like the WWE tapes, like still sealed, some of those older ones go for quite a bit of money. Yeah.
We were just having a chat before about VHS collecting, and it's cracking off, right? And so many kinds of collecting are, and there's one of the things that really attracted me to come and working here is just the size of the market in general, physical, digital. Depending on who you ask, it's somewhere between $400 and $600 billion every single year right now, and it's growing. So there's so many areas across all collectibles that are kicking off. Whether it's watches, sneakers. It's madness. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we actually read an estimate recently that the market cap for the collectible space is going to reach $1 trillion by 2030, which I think is probably conservative, especially with digital collectibles emerging and becoming more popular over time.
Yeah, look, I agree. I agree too. Over the last few years, the growth, even with recessions around the world, the growth in collectibles more broadly has been about 5 or 6% year on year, which is pretty strong.
Well, I'm really excited to talk about VeVe. But before we do, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with Binance and Web3 in general?
Yeah, totally. So, I've been into crypto myself for 4 or 5 years now, and I live in New Zealand. I've lived here for a couple of decades now. So Binance, in the crypto world, Binance is, they're the biggest exchange. And so if you're going to work for an exchange, that'd be a good one to go to get into the industry. And I saw them advertising they were going to launch into New Zealand. And, I'm a proud New Zealander, and I was into crypto. I'm into crypto. And I thought, wow, that'd be pretty cool to bring a big brand like that, a big organization like that, and really kind of grow the crypto space, the blockchain space in New Zealand. That'd be a big challenge, pretty exciting. And the challenge bit's really important to me because I love hard stuff. So applied for it, got it, started that role. I was employee number one, which is cool because you kind of think, are you working for a massive company? But actually, on day one, it was kind of me and a laptop and going, right, okay, what do we need? What do we need from a team point of view, regulation point of view? Like, how do we build this thing? And I had, I was working with the team over in Australia. They were supporting, and we just, we built the business. So fast forward to today, and there's a team of about 20 there. There's about 300,000 customers, and it's a vibrant business. So that was pretty cool. Did that, and then about a year into it, the guy who ran Australia, New Zealand, Lee Travers, who was the GM and brought me into the business, he left, and so I was asked if I wanted to run the region. So I did, and it was amazing. So in Australia, you had an existing business much bigger than the New Zealand one, and so together the team was about 100 people or so, and it was about 1.5 million users across those two countries, and both regulated markets, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So fully remote team, different markets, different challenges. One was a kind of growth stage, and one was a bit more mature, a bit more established. So yeah, a lot of work around working with regulators, politicians, media, the team, partners. So yeah, look, it was a fun ride, and yeah, a baptism by fire into crypto for sure. But yeah, I loved it.
Definitely. No, given that VeVe is operating in the US, need a lot of help on a lot of those fronts, I'm sure, especially on regulations. It's tricky here. So
Well, it's look, for all businesses, whether you're in Web3 or not, the landscape's always evolving. So it's just, when you're a global business like us, it's important just to kind of be across developments, because it's always changing, right? And so it's certainly an interesting time, but not just in the US, all around the world.
And what a beautiful place, New Zealand. The girlfriend and I actually had a chance to go to New Zealand last year, and we visited Auckland. And
Awesome.
Wow, such a fun country.
My story is really, really common for immigrants here. I came for a year and forgot to leave, so I came over. I used to work in advertising years ago, and I don't know if you remember. I'm quite old, so cast your mind back. But there used to be a big global campaign for New Zealand, which was 100% pure New Zealand, and so I came to work on the advertising side of it with the agency, and it was awesome. Came over. It was meant to be a year contract. And after, literally a few weeks, I thought, oh, this is pretty good. So ended up staying, met my wife, and unfortunately, this is now home.
Yeah, it was hard for us to leave too. And yeah, we're talking about potentially going there one day, hopefully. But
hey, we'll have you. We'd love to have you over. There's plenty of space. There's lots to do. We'd love to have you over.
So when you were first introduced to VeVe, what was it about the company that made you want to come on board as the co-CEO?
I met David just as part of the local blockchain industry, and got introduced to him by a mutual friend of ours. And we just clicked. I was really impressed by the guy, by the fact that he's really entrepreneurial, has built a business in an industry that didn't really exist. The fact that he'd gone, he and Dan had just packed their bags, gone to the States, and signed up some amazing licenses. Which right now we all sit here and go, of course VeVe has those licenses, right? But I'm really clear that I'm sitting on the shoulders of giants here, because without those guys doing what they did, this wouldn't be a business. This wouldn't be a thing. So I was really impressed by that. And he's just a lovely guy. We just connected on a personal level. I just had a lot of respect for him. So yeah, met him, liked him. We got on well. I persuaded him to come and do a Binance video interview. We were doing some AMAs with local businesses, doing cool stuff. And so we had an interview, and he was, then started to talk me through kind of what VeVe was all about. And I thought, wow, this is pretty impressive. And the reasons I thought that were, so the first thing is, what VeVe has done is it's created a product with genuine benefit to consumers, and the benefit is scarcity. The technology that enables that is NFTs and blockchain, but it's that way around. Start with the proposition and the technology that enables it. Whereas in the Web3 space, you do come across a lot of businesses who are kind of like, the answer's blockchain, what's your question? And so I really like the fact that, what matters to collectors is scarcity, and blockchain is a great way to do that. And in fact, a way to do that you can't really replicate very easily in the physical world. And then you look at the size of the industry, the physical industry, and it's massive. So I thought, wow, here's a business that has got an amazing proposition, that has built it, has got some incredible IPs, but also has the opportunity to really disrupt what is a massive market that's been around for actually hundreds of years. So, if you think about what we did quite recently with Stanley Gibbons and the Penny Black, right there, that's a business that's been around since the 1850s. And,
Right.
people have been collecting from then and before. So, yeah, I thought exciting opportunity to disrupt a massive market that's still growing, right? And then the last thing is I like the way that VeVe has built usability and ease of access into its platform. So one of the challenges with blockchain technologies, and I'm a big fan of them, but one of the challenges is they're new and unfamiliar to people, and it can be quite hard to onboard into it if you're not used to it. So to create wallets and seed phrases and understand custody and all that kind of stuff, it's quite hard. So I liked the way that actually you can just pick up, a credit debit card and get into it.
I love that you emphasize the value of both the digital and physical side, because our podcast, Comics and Crypto, we emphasize the bridge between the digital and physical space. And it's been really fun for the past 3 years getting to know the community and seeing how passionate they are about collecting. A lot of the collectors on the app are first time collectors. They've never collected anything in their life, and they start on the digital side, but now they're walking into comic shops, they're going to Comic-Con events. And it's all because of VeVe, which is really exciting for us. It's really a beautiful thing.
Well, look, we look at it too. It works both ways. It's symbiotic, right? So I think there are reasons why someone might collect physically and reasons why someone might collect digitally, right? So clearly we're biased. We're big fans of digital collecting, but it's all the same people, right? So for us, I think our job, and certainly the way that I'm looking at it with the team, is okay, we've got this business and we should be really proud of it and we should, nurture and protect it. But look at this industry over here. All of these people love collecting and they're really passionate about different fandoms. Well, let's bring them in. It's not an either or. It's not a zero sum game. Let's bring them in, and some of their collections they'll have digitally. And there's stuff about digital that physical can't replicate. You can have number one editions of things these days, quite relatively easily. Doesn't take up all the space, and your wife doesn't tell you off when she comes home and there's new pops on the shelf. All that kind of stuff. It's sustainable, all those sorts of things. But also, it's different. It's different, and so there are going to be things that people want digitally, but things that people want to touch and feel. So yeah, we're a collectibles business. Our focus is digital and phygital. But yeah, we just love being part of this industry.
And it's an opportunity to get everyone involved too, because I have friends in different parts of the world. They don't have access to buy physical comic books, and having a chance to actually own a comic book in digital format is a really, really big deal. So it's really cool to see them being able to get excited about collecting when they wouldn't have opportunities in the first place.
Yeah, look, so with comics as an example, so in our business, David obviously is a mad comic fan. He's been a collector for years. He's really into it. For me, I'm relatively new to the space, and so my entry point into it was VeVe. And so, but if I look at like the Young Avengers collection that I've got, it's got some amazing cover art by Rochelle Rosenberg. I would never have come across that were it not digitally, because I live in New Zealand and I'm not at San Diego at the moment, or whatever it might be. I'm not going to physical shops. So now I understand that, and now I know about that, and now I can buy some more. But you know what? I'd quite like some physical ones too.
So coming on as the co-CEO, how will you and David be splitting responsibilities?
That's really important for both us internally, and I think for our customers and fans to understand as well. So David and Dan and I sat down for a long time as we went through this process to really kind of understand what's the best way to do this, and the best way in the interests of the business and the community. So where we got to is David and Dan have real strengths, real passions, and real expertise in a few really important areas to us. So for David, it is IP relationships and deep understanding and knowledge of the industry and the community, and also that long-term vision. What does that look like, and where's the market going? So that's what he does amazingly. For Dan, it's about production and really understanding how we're going to craft the best collectibles in the industry and what the user experience should look like. And that's what those guys are great at, and we want them to focus on that. The other things is kind of where I come in, and the other things is split into two. So internally, this is a decent sized business now. We're a global business and we're fully remote, and so we need to make sure that we've got the right people in the right places. The team's able to do their best job. We've got right priorities and the right focuses and all that kind of stuff that you need to have in a high performing business. So things like, business strategies and business plans and coaching the team. So we've got some amazing people all over the world, all across the business. What they all want to do is they want to grow the business, they want to succeed, and they want to add value to the community. The question is, as a business, is you've got to make choices about how and when you're going to do that. So my role as co-CEO is to help them do that and help make sure that they're, number one, clear about what we're going to do and what good looks like. Number two, that they're capable of doing it. They've got the skills to do it. They've got the resources. They've got the toolkits. And then lastly, that they're motivated and they buy into it. And so we don't have any issue with motivation. Everyone's right into it. We've got great capability across the team. I think there's opportunity to add some more as well. Clarity, I think, is probably something that we're building on and focusing on now as we mature as a business. So those are the kind of main focuses. And then the other part of the role is stuff like this. So really what we want when, we've got our founders, and we want them to focus, like I said, on the stuff that is going to make a difference to the community, to the business and the future. There's a really important need for the community to hear from us what's going on, because they deserve to. And, I've said before that without the community, we don't exist. So a lot of my time is doing stuff like this to make sure that we're, sharing what's happening, but also getting feedback the other way. So probably 2/3 of my time will be with the team, helping them succeed and do the best job they can do, and then the other third of my time will be out in the community, communicating and kind of sharing what's happening and where we're up to.
Nice. Well, you're about to get a pretty big exposure to the community in a couple of weeks, or in a week, basically at Comic-Con.
Well, hey, so I'm not going. Okay,
You're not
and I'll
going?
tell you why. I'll tell you
Oh,
why.
oh! I thought you were
So
going to be there.
No. Look, I'll tell you why. So Comic-Con was organised. We plan ahead, right? And when you do something as big as we're going to be doing at Comic-Con, with with the events and the stuff at the booth and all of the activations, there's a lot of planning that goes into it. So that was planned long before I joined, and I actually don't feel comfortable taking the ticket of one of the team members who's worked really hard on it and is going to go. So first of all. The second thing is David and Dan are going to be there for sure. And to be honest, right now, that's the best use of our resource, because the fans want to meet them and they want them to sign comics. They don't want me to sign comics. They want me to stay and hold the fort and run the business, and they want to meet Dave and Dan at Comic-Con. So that's the way we're going to do it now.
You'll be making sure all the Comic-Con exclusive drops go off without a hitch while they're off, gallivanting.
I tell you what, there has been. I mean, and you've seen some of the announcements coming. There has been so much work that goes into this stuff, and we've got across all parts of our team. You turn up to the event and it all looks awesome and it all looks smooth and everything kind of works. I tell you what, that's just the swan above the water. So the team are doing a lot of work to make that happen. So hats off to them for everything they've done, and we really hope the fan like it when they get there.
I will say, definitely get that pen ready, because people will be asking you to sign comics in the future.
It is tough. So I guess, like, given all of those responsibilities that you just told us about, what would you say are your biggest priorities in, like, the next 90 days, for example, for kind of within what you're looking to do?
The timeframes I'm focusing on right now is actually the next 12 months for the business. So we've got a really strong plan and activity underway about the longer term. The stuff that's coming over the next 12 months is the most important thing to me right now, because I want to make sure that we deliver, we continue to deliver, and that we do things that where we've made commitments in the past, that we're honouring those. So right now I'm actually focusing on the next 12 months, working on a really clear plan with each of the teams across our business to make sure that we're prioritising the stuff that's going to make the biggest difference. To make sure we're really clear about who owns what, when it's going to happen. So that's the focus. Tell you what I've been doing, though, which has been awesome, is I've been meeting every single member of the staff one-on-one, and we've got a few around the world, and it's been really, really good. Like we've got people who have been with VeVe since before VeVe was VeVe. We've got people who joined 1 year ago, 2 years ago. And so I've been sitting down with every single one and asking them two questions. And the two questions are, what are the things that are secret sauce and the real magic of VeVe that we need to protect and nurture from your perspective? And what are the things that you think we need to do differently and do better? And I'm asking that question of every single person, because themes emerge in some, but some give you real insights that you wouldn't have otherwise got. Because one of the challenges when you're in a CEO or a co-CEO role is team members often they want to only say the good stuff, and so everything's great, it's all fine. But now I've got the chance as the newbie to kind of, okay, so what could we fix? What do we need to do differently? So yeah, been doing a lot of that, and that's helping inform the way we're going to work and a lot of what we're going to do over the next 12 months.
Makes sense. Well, we're excited to see what you do with it. So I guess moving on a little bit to kind of like looking at like the general, collectible space. So I'm curious what you think of, kind of like the general digital collectible landscape, like outside of VeVe. And you don't have to name any names, but kind of just like, kind of like the whole digital collectible market in general.
Yeah, so look, there's lots happening, and some competitors are struggling more than others. Some are thriving. From our perspective, we want to see as many players in this industry as possible. For us, the more the merrier. The more businesses that help grow understanding and awareness and adoption of digital collectibles, then that's better. It's just it's a good thing for us. And I use the term zero sum game. This is not a zero sum game. If you think about the size of overall collecting, and then you look at the size of digital collecting as a part of that, we've got so far to go in growing adoption of digital into the physical world. So yeah, look, we're sad when we hear that competitors are facing challenges, because we want this to be a really vibrant space. And so yeah, look, I think that's the approach that we take. We're just we feel like we're at the very start of this digital collectibles journey. We've been around for 7 years, but look at the size and look at the kind of establishment of physical collecting. We feel like we're at the beginning, and it's going to take more than VeVe to really grow that. So yeah, we want to see competitors thriving, and maybe competitors not the right word. We want to see other market participants thriving.
And I think like that's like a really good way to look at it. Maybe not competitors, because I feel like a lot of digital collectors don't just collect on one platform. I feel like when you're into the space, you just want to explore whatever's out there. And especially if there's, the same IP on multiple platforms, if there's Star Wars on 3 different platforms, for example, and you're really into Star Wars, you're going to go to everywhere you can get it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, look, I'm the VeVe guy, right? So I'm always going to say, we've got all these IPs, and it's amazing, and you should build with us. But realistically, there is room for a lot of players in this market. This is such a big opportunity, and so you might think that when we see that there's a competitor struggling, that we go, oh, goody. We don't. We absolutely don't. We don't celebrate that. We want to see others doing well, because in all emerging sectors, there's a job to be done, not just around saying, hey, VeVe's awesome, it actually explaining the benefits of why digital collecting is a thing, and why so many people love it, and how it gives you opportunities that physical collecting doesn't do. So yeah, we're going to play our part, and we're going to continue to do that. But the more in the industry doing that, the better for everyone, I think.
Rising tide lifts all ships, and we were huge believers
100%.
in that philosophy. So I'm very refreshing to hear you say that as well.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So I guess to close us out, what excites you the most about the future of VeVe?
If I had to really narrow it down, because there's a lot. So okay, the first one is the quality and thinking of our people. So across every different team in the business, we've got such smart people, and they are all bursting with ideas. So over the past wee while, as I've been meeting with them, I've been really, really blown away by just the quality of thinking, of the dedication, and the fact that they are all, to a person, without a single exception, focused on helping the community and doing what the community wants. So that's the first one that really excites me. So you start with a business where it's full of great people wanting to do really cool stuff and some amazing expertise. The next one is the licensors that we work with. They're so supportive, and they're collaborative, they're innovative. The fact that they're in this space at all shows that they are they're open-minded and open to this new sector, and just the volume and quality of IPs that we've got now. And we just announced one today. We've got more coming. That's really exciting, because people love those. They love those fandoms. If you love Spider-Man, you love Spider-Man. If you love DC, you love DC. You might not love VeVe yet, because you might not have heard about it, but you love Sesame Street. So the power of those IPs is the other thing. And then the last point is just the market opportunity, just the size of collecting, the fact that the habit is ingrained and the love of it is ingrained and has been for centuries, and that we've got this opportunity to really disrupt that and digitize that, tokenize that. So those are the three things.
Nice. Love it. Great answer.
And it's so fun to see adults, but not just adults, but also kids get excited about digital collectibles, especially when they play with them in AR. I mean, there's been a couple times where I've given some friends kids my phone, and they're just off for hours playing with these digital collectibles, taking photos, showing me the videos they've taken. You know, we've actually made a Sesame Street video that I showed you earlier. That was a blast because those kids, they were ecstatic over it. They loved it.
That was
It's so
awesome.
much
I
fun.
love that. I love that. Hey, you got to
Thank you.
share that again. That was so good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Talking about kids, you know, think about the power of pester power in other industries. Think about the metaverse, Roblox and Fortnite. You know, so and we think about that too. And you know, the VeVe-verse, obviously we've spoken about, that is on our plan of priorities, and that's something we're thinking about. Is you know, that will be a key part of our business, and it's a key part of our business strategy going forward. That opens up huge opportunities for, you know, the utility of those collectibles and what you can do and how you can share them and engage with them. So yeah, we're really excited about a lot of that stuff, and I think it's important to look out to the market and understand those new and emerging technologies, because that's what's going to, you know, shape the future of this business. I mean, look at some of the announcements recently about AR goggles, and you know, there's a lot of stuff coming, and we're well aware of it and looking very closely at it. So I think it's a really exciting space for, you know, for our users, for our fans, and for us to be in.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at like some of the amazing things that people in the community have done with their showrooms and doing all these amazing videos, you can tell that people are just really eager to make use of their collectibles. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
love hearing that VVverse as a priority going forward, because it's something that I think, you know, I think a lot of the community has felt like they haven't heard a lot about recently. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And and when I was talking to David and Dan early on about this, that was one of the first questions I asked. I said, okay, tell me where things are up to. Show me. I need to understand this, because prior to talking to them, I'd spent a lot of time both with my own profile and also a cheeky anonymous one, just listening to people's questions and thoughts and getting a sense of, you know, whether it was on, you know, Reddit, Discord, X, whatever, just getting a sense of stuff. And so that was really important for me to understand. You know, it's because I think business is judged by its delivery and its execution. And I think if you take a step back and you go, net, has VeVe delivered innovation and execution? Yes, it has. Absolutely has. Has it done that perfectly all the time? No. Has it pioneered in the new category? Absolutely. VeVeVerse is one of those things which I think hand on heart, we as a business probably underestimated, and we went out with all intention to tell the community, here's where it's going to go. Did we learn from that? Absolutely. Is it on our minds every single day? Are we working on it? Yes, we are. I'm really conscious of the community sentiment around that, and the importance of it to, you know, us all as collectors. So yeah, look, it's something that I'm very focused on, and you know, I'll say it again. Judge us by our execution, and I can talk about from today going forward. That's what I'm here to do, is communicate, you know, around kind of what we're up to.
well, this has been an awesome conversation. Really appreciate you taking the time to come on and I think be your first official interview with one of the VV community members. So we're really honored, and yeah, we hope you come back soon.
Hey, so happy to be here, and yeah, love to come back soon.
Thanks so much, Ben.
Thanks, guys.